What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to A Millennial's America, episode 2. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about Texas, answer a couple questions in the comments from my last video, and also express my feelings on this place and everything that I've learned in the last 3 years that I've been here. Texas is a great state. It's massive. It's the second largest state in the U.S. If Texas was its own country again, it would actually be the 40th largest country in the world. 800 miles from end to end at its widest point. It's only smaller than Alaska, which is over double the size of Texas. But it's a great place. Texas founded Dr. Pepper. Texas founded the frozen margarita machine. Six Flags theme park was invented or founded in 1961 in Arlington, Texas, which is named after the Six Flags that have flown over Texas since Texas was founded. Spain, France, Mexico, the Republic of Texas, the Confederate States of America, and the United States of America. Little bit of history: the cannon flag, the come and take it flag that everybody sees, was actually a flag used when Mexico requested their arms back from the state of Texas. They sent them that flag instead, said come and take it. So that's what Texas stands for. It's the pride and the history of Texas as a country. There's 3 power grids in the United States: the Eastern United States, the Western United States, and you guessed it, Texas. So it's crazy how this state could run on its own if it wanted to. Obviously, a lot of us like being part of the United States, but Texas is a great place to live. It's a completely different state than I've ever been to in my life. The nature, the trees, the greenery, how green it is. We get so much rainfall in a short period of time, at least in North Texas, that everything's green. I mean, my yard stays green almost year round. We got trees. East Texas has tall trees, pine trees, similar to Washington State, the evergreens. It's very unusual. I thought I would experience desert, flat, tumbleweeds, which in Amarillo and West Texas you definitely get that. But at least here in North Central Texas, it is green, it is beautiful. And the further you go south, you see the high country where there's actually hills and mountains that I still don't think they're mountains, but you know, it's nice. A little story about me and what happened with us when we first came to Texas. So before we moved, we were actually looking everywhere. We didn't know where we wanted to go. We just wanted to go somewhere. And Tennessee, Arizona, Idaho, Montana, Texas, tons of different places were on our radar. We were looking all over the place. Well, a friend of mine decided he was moving here, so we visited Texas in 2020. And this is the height of COVID. Everything's going on, mask mandates, vaccines, craziness. Everything's going on because it was at the end of 2020 in October. We came to visit. We flew into Dallas. We get our rental car. We go to get something to eat. And when we stopped to get something to eat, we stopped at a Whataburger, which also founded in Texas. First time I'd ever been to a Whataburger. Great food. What threw me off was the management at the restaurant or fast food chain actually came around table to table asking people, how's the food, how's everything, do you need sauce? They had a little tray with 15 different sauces. Everybody knows Whataburger's got their spicy ketchup. But that was unusual, you know, handing out napkins, things like that. We're like, that's kind of cool. I've never seen that in a fast food restaurant. You know, you don't get that at McDonald's. And then when we're going to leave, we had one of our kids, we had food, drinks, carrying things, trying to get out the door. And this older gentleman opens the door and holds the door for us. And thank you, sir. You know, appreciate it. We were parked right next to the front door, so he was like, hey, let me get your car door. Actually opened the car door for us as well to make it easier to get in the car. And when we got in the car and we sat down, before we even take off the drive again, we realized Southern hospitality is a real thing. And you don't experience it until you actually experience it. Like, you hear about it, people talk about it, and how things in the South are done differently. But until that moment, I didn't realize it to be true. And at that time, it hit me. And it is true. It's 100% true. Maybe not everybody, it's a different world we live in today. But yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Helping people, holding the door for others, talking to people, saying, hey, how's it going? On that same trip, me and my buddy went to the gas station at, 11, 12 o'clock at night to get some drinks. And we find out about the cashier's dog and his grandma. And I'm not even kidding. This really happened. Like, just life stories and talking about things to random people you've never met before. But by the time you leave that 5-10 minute conversation, you feel like you've known them your whole life. And that's happened so many times with the people I work with and my neighbors and the people we encounter on a regular basis, taking, trips to the park or the zoo or different things. It's crazy how comforting it feels to be here. And we don't jump out to tell people where we came from. Because in Texas, it is looked down upon to be from a blue state. California, Washington, New York, the main three. But the difference in Texas is a Southern Democrat is what a Democrat used to be. They just stayed that way in the South. In California and New York and Washington, they've gone so far the other direction. But in Texas, it's its own place. Everybody's different. You can talk to people. You can have a conversation and discussions and debates, whether it's religion or politics or whatever, sports teams. I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm a Mariners fan. But I don't argue with people at work. I work with a guy that's a Michigan fan, and I'm a UW fan. So we had friendly wagers going on, but it was all friendly. It was all kind-hearted. It's like that with everything here, and it's crazy to me how I never knew it until we actually visited. We actually only stepped foot off a plane into Texas twice before we decided to move here. The first time, the Southern hospitality, we met with a couple police officers local to the area we were staying, things like that. My buddy, like I said, his mom actually already lived in Texas, so we stayed with her. It was eye-opening, to say the least, and that's when we decided on the state of Texas. Our second trip was when we narrowed it down to the Dallas area. The growth here is tremendous. There's so much work in the Metroplex. It's insane. Apartments going up everywhere, jobs, work is endless. Whatever you want to do, Amazon's exploding, Tesla's exploding. There's so much work here. If that's what you do, warehouse work, Encore Power is massive here in this area. They have a massive distribution center 20-30 minutes from us. It's crazy the amount of growth in this place. Another thing I love, it's 8 o'clock at night. It's 83 degrees right now. So I'm sitting outside. I hope the sound quality isn't too bad. I don't have a studio. I do want to set one up in the future. I'm hoping that if I make a little bit off of doing this podcast, everything I get from it, I'm going to put towards the future of this podcast. And that's 100% hands down. That's a check, all right. You can hold me to it. I do want this to grow. And in order to do that, I know I need to work on some things, a microphone, a camera, that sort of stuff. Eventually I'll get there. And I hope it's not too clunky. I say a lot. I'm working on it. I hope I don't. I actually brought out notes today. I didn't want to read it word for word because I don't want this to be scripted. That's not what this is about. I want to just have a conversation. I'm talking to you. Hopefully you reply in the comments. You talk to me. We could talk about other things. Like I said, if there's anything y'all want to talk about, let me know. We'll talk about it. Some other things about Texas is the lakes, the fishing here. Lake Fork actually has some of the best bass fishing in the world. They do tournaments here every year. We have lakes around us that are literally 3 times the size of the lakes I grew up around, and it's crazy because they're everywhere. They're all man-made. There's only a couple lakes in the state of Texas that are natural lakes, but all the surrounding lakes around our area are all man-made. So it's kind of cool. There's some of them you can see the old bridge guardrails still in the water where they don't fill up all the way above it, but there's trees coming out, which is great habitat for bass fishing. We have amazing catfish here. It's unbelievable because we don't have a ton of hunting opportunities as far as public land is concerned, but fishing we do. Every lake there's public access somewhere, whether people park off the side of the highway. Our highways have a big median in the middle, and you hit the bridges, and then there's just a gap. You go straight down to the water. People park in the grass right there, and they walk down in between the bridges, and they'll fish under the bridges. I've even seen people having little campfires to stay warm in the wintertime fishing there. I've been down there. It's actually pretty cool to see. It's like I said, it's a different world here. It's slower, and the people are nicer, which is a huge part of what got us hooked on Texas, was just meeting people in the southern hospitality. We can't buy liquor on Sundays. All liquor stores are closed, no liquor sales. Grocery stores don't sell liquor like in other places. If you don't know, beer, you can't buy beer until 10 o'clock on Sundays, which is recent. It used to be 12 p.m. When I first moved here, it was 12 p.m. And recently, a year and a half or so ago, it was past that. You can buy beer at 10 o'clock. So I'm pretty sure it has something to do with NFL Sundays, because the games start early. You gotta wait till 12 o'clock to buy your beer. But the Bible Belt, that's the way it is. Things are closed on Sundays. Walmarts are not 24/7 in Texas. They close at 11 o'clock. The grocery store by us closes, I think, 9 o'clock. We not used to it so much as growing up. You need some groceries, you can go to Walmart 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, stop on your way to work 5 o'clock in the morning. You can't do that here. You got to prepare a little bit better because everything opens at 7 and closes at 11, which is actually kind of cool. Everything's closed on holidays. Black Friday in Texas is different because stores don't open on Thanksgiving like in other places. You don't have the riots and mass exodus and people trying to get into the stores and starting fights and trampling people. You don't see that because these businesses here care about family and the sanctity of that. So they say spend time at home, spend time with your family. You know, see a lot of places closed on Sundays. A lot of places. We actually were looking at some storage sheds, and the sign on the thing said, it was a Saturday night, and it said, closed tomorrow, see you at church. Crazy, because not used to that. And in Washington, everything's 7 days a week besides Chick-fil-A, Hobby Lobby. The only things really up there that close on Sunday. But it's cool because everybody's humble. Not everybody, don't get me wrong. You know, you got turds in the mud everywhere you're gonna go. There's crime here like anywhere else. We have issues just like everybody, just like every state. It just seems like it's controlled a lot better here because we take a hard line on crime. We don't let people out for free. You know, guy beats up a cop, goes to jail, they turn around and let him loose, and then he's flipping off the camera. That doesn't happen in Texas. No, sir. You beat up the police, you're going to jail for a long time. And you better hope that somebody in there isn't friends with the cops, because you might not get out. But it's a beautiful thing. Texas is all about its freedoms, our right to bear arms. I have that Second Amendment tattooed on my arm. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So, like I said, I love this country. I love this state. This state in itself feels like a completely different country just because the difference when you get into Texas, even going to Oklahoma or Louisiana or whatever it may be, it's a different world here, and I love it. And another question that was asked is the history. If there's history of this area and things like that. Princeton, Texas is the onion capital of Texas. They do an onion festival every year. They actually have a World War II museum. Obviously, Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas. We have the tower in Dallas. Trying to think of what else. There's the tower is from the World's Fair. We have that in Dallas. That was a long time ago. I don't know the date on that. But yeah, there is a lot of history in Texas. The Comanche Indians ran this place. Texas Rangers, the history of them. You can go to Arlington and go to the Texas Rangers Museum. There's massive colleges. We have tons of colleges. Baylor, SMU, Texas, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. I know I'm missing some, but there's a lot of them. UT Texas, UT Tyler, UT Austin. It's a massive place, and the growth and expansion of this place, I don't have to worry about losing my job. What I do, I don't have to worry about AI taking over. I work in a hands-on construction field, and I don't see how AI can do that. I could be wrong. Who knows what 20 years from now is going to look like, but the growth here, there's always work. I always have something to do. I have friendly neighbors. I can hear the birds chirping. We have fireflies at night. I never seen fireflies in person in my life until last year when we got this house and watching the backyard and just seeing fireflies. It's amazing. It's amazing. I feel more alive living here. I feel happier here. I feel more comfortable. I don't have to worry about shootings across the street. I don't have to worry about getting carjacked necessarily. In Texas, it's almost a law to carry a gun because everybody should have a gun. It's constitutional carry state. I do have a concealed carry permit for other places, so I can go out of state. I'm from Washington again, so I have one for there. So it is also honored in the state of Texas. Different things are just done differently here, and it feels a lot better. It feels more comfortable. It feels more natural. Going to work every day, doing the things that I do, maintaining my house, my property, things like that. Seeing my life get better. Has it been easy? Absolutely not. It's been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. Left my family, left my friends. I got 2 friends down here, and one lives 6 hours away and the other one lives 2 hours away. So no, it wasn't easy. It was really difficult, actually. Very, very, very difficult. But I'm looking at the future of my life and my family's, and that's what I came to, and that's the conclusion I came up with, is how to better our lives and our future. And I feel like I have more access to things here down the road than I did anywhere else. Now, I miss everybody. Washington's a beautiful state. Born and raised, 29 years in that state. Beautiful. Actually 27. I spent 2 in Arizona. But making the move for my family put everything else in the back. It made everything else not necessarily matter, because the life I live, the family I have, is the family that I chose. I'm not putting them above anybody else, but I chose my future and I chose the path I'm on, and I'm trying to make the best of it 100%. Trying to do what I can to create a better life for my children, create a better life for me and my wife, and do what we can to become better people. So that's what I got for today. I hope something interested you guys. Like I said, Texas, it's where it's at. We love it here. It's red, white, and blue. I tell people I'm an American until Texas secedes. I actually got a t-shirt that was gifted to me that says that. I love this place. I really do. It's beautiful. There's so much history of this place, between Mexico and the Comanche and battling to become a sovereign nation, and then becoming part of the United States. Things like that. It's an insane state. I can't even scratch the surface of the history of this place in a 10-15 minute video. But again, I hope you learned something. I hope this interested you guys. If you liked it, if you thought it was alright, like I said, it's gonna be clunky in the beginning. I'm working on it. I'm hoping to get better at this. Hoping things will be a little smoother, get better video quality, better sound quality. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the bottom. Let me know what you want to hear. Let me know what you want me to talk about. I'll do my research, and in the next couple of days I'll get that out to you guys. But like I said, like it, subscribe to it, share it, comment, help me out, guys. This is where I'm at. If you like this, stay tuned, because there's more to come. Thank you.